Hey everybody, good afternoon. Mestre Sukuri coming to you here on Mestre Vibes. Today I'll be doing another book review. I know I just did one, but I got caught by the wave and decided to do another one. Remember, if you like what we're doing here, reviewing books, talking about philosophy, today is a little bit of both. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get up to 1,000 people because of the new rules, and we really hope to be able to put out some really good stuff in time with a lot of support. Okay, don't be afraid to comment. Anything productive is good. Okay, today's book that I am reviewing is actually something I had read a little bit a while back, but then things got busy and I had to put it down. I picked it up again, and actually I went through it pretty fast this time. I wrote notes for myself, so I have my clipboard and everything and notes to do everything. Especially when I'm going to talk about a book that I personally, honestly, this is hard because in these reviews, I'm supposed to review, so you like the book, click on the Amazon link, and buy the book. Okay? You're supposed to buy the book. I just did Playing in the Light by Mestre Gallego, and add the link. So if you buy the book, support comes back to me. But I got to keep it real, guys. I'm sorry. I can't just say every book is good. You know what I mean? If I have strong critique, then I might save it for the person, especially out of the respect for the person being a capoeirista. The book I'm doing today is called Candomblé, Capoeira and Candomblé, Conformity and Resistance Through the Afro-Brazilian Experience by Floyd Merrell. Okay, well, I don't know how to approach this because I've never really had to approach it. I'm generally, if people know me, I'm a positive person and I don't like to say negative things. But I'm going to go here and say how I see the book and how I don't recommend you to buy it and why. Okay? So, the beginning of the thing, when I approach a book, I have to approach it in two ways. It's really difficult. You have to separate. One, as a lifelong capoeirista and mestre of capoeira, or as a professionally trained academic in Afro-Brazilian studies and on the emergence and everything from Candomblé, Afro-Brazilian dance, everything samba. I take in even the experience of the second, third generation Japanese who immigrated back to Brazil, from Brazil to Japan. Okay, so I'm very in tune with the academic side and something I keep doing. I don't go there a lot, but I think as things progress, I'm going to have to say, because if not, I'm not giving you the best that I can give you. I can't limit myself by pretending I don't do something in order to make it sound more apologetic or to sound more, I'm trying to be, keep the peace, because that's not what this channel is about. Master Vibes is simply about promoting good and calling out what can be improved on. I can be improved on. So if you have something to say, call me out. I have no problem with it. The book was published in 2005, I believe. Floyd Merrell is a retired Purdue University professor, as it says in the book, but it didn't say, I couldn't find where it said what he does. I haven't had a chance to go on the internet to check what he taught or what he did at the university. So I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe somebody can comment in the bottom. Now, Capoeira and Candomblé, Conformity, Resistance Through Afro-Brazilian Experience. It's about, let's say, 300 pages. And like I said, I can't recommend it. I'll put the link in the bottom if you want to buy it and read it. And here's why. So, the first 5-6 chapters deal with capoeira. The chapters after that deal with candomblé. And I'm not going to touch those chapters because this video is on Mestre Vibes right now. The focus is capoeira. So I'm going to talk about the capoeira chapters. I'm not going to talk about what he talks about in candomblé because that's for a different video. Okay? So bear with me, especially since I have a profound respect for candomblé and other Afro-Brazilian religious practices. First, man, it's really hard because I have to say you're right. So I'm just going to say it. You guys, there it is. I'll leave the comments open. Comment. Okay. I found the first chapter pretty much just a regurgitation of Mestre's books and Mestre Accordion's books. Actually, throughout, he's just basically saying what they're saying. He's not really adding. He's just saying what they said and saying like, right. Well, Mestre Accordion said this, right, in his book. Mestre Ness said this, right. And I felt that it's kind of really a waste of time since those two books are incredible. I'll review them later. Mestre Ness Capoeira's books, Mestre Accordion's books, I've read them a half dozen times each. I will do a review, and even before saying it, I recommend all three of their books. 4 of their books. And Mestre Nestor also has a novel about capoeiristas in Portuguese. I don't know if it's been released in English, but I'll have a look. So, the reason I don't like where this book is coming from, because it says Capoeira and Candomblé, Capoeira big, as a catch title. But this person is not a capoeirista. Sorry. I'm going to call it for what it is. He even says, finally in chapter 5, that he started capoeira at the age of 63. And that was in Capoeira Angola in Bahia. I am not saying that just because you're up in age, you cannot do it. I'm 49 and still going strong, and I love it. But how much actual capoeira experience do you have to talk about capoeira when the book is published in 2005 and he quotes that he started capoeira in a little after 2000? I don't know. I'd be really careful about writing a book about any subject if I haven't done it for at least 10, 15. For me now, I feel comfortable after 20 or 30 years of capoeira to write something and to do what I'm doing. It's really, I don't like it because he politicizes capoeira a lot too. In the book, he constantly refers to Capoeira Angola as real capoeira. He refers to Capoeira Regional, or people who practice that system, as pseudo capoeira. He talks about going to the roda at Mercado Modelo and saying, oh, it's pseudo capoeira, not real capoeira, or image capoeira. Guys, I've played in that roda once or twice in my life. Those guys are amazing. And there's even an expression in Portuguese I've heard a half dozen times from people from Bahia. O cara do Mercado Modelo, você joga lá, você joga qualquer lugar. The guy is from Mercado Modelo. If you can play there, you can play anywhere. I have nothing but respect for those rodas and the people trying to make a living from it. Okay? So when he says that that's pseudo capoeira, I found that a little bit off base, right? So he also is talking about regional a lot when he obviously has no experience in regional at all. If he has very little experience in capoeira, you shouldn't really talk about another part if you don't know anything, even less, or minus information. What I mean by minus information, in the first 5 chapters, you can hear the politicalization and division of how a lot of Capoeira Angola people see Capoeira Regional as not authentic. Guys, look, I've done both. I love both. And I feel both are capoeira. A capoeirista, for me, you go in the roda. It's your choice. If it's an Angola roda and you don't know, don't go in. If it's a regional roda and you don't like it, don't go in. But that doesn't mean as a capoeirista you can't participate. The whole thing about capoeira, it's your choice to go in. I've seen Angoleros play regional, and I've seen regional play Angoleros, and everything in between. The only thing I've never done is made an excuse because I wasn't prepared. Sorry. If you go in, it's your choice. I've never said that person was mean, that person did something wrong to me, that person did. Look, I chose to go in. Your own malícia needs to teach you, should I go in or should I not go in? Okay? Capoeira can be as calm and beautiful as a small sailboat on a beautiful lake, or it can be a thunderstorm in the middle of a hurricane, in the middle of a typhoon. You got to be able to tell the weather. So I felt in this book he does that a lot. later and later, basically the whole part of capoeira is just him kind of regurgitating what other people said. I'm not saying he's not an educated person. I'm just saying he's not really saying anything of his own experience. He's just saying from other books. And that is a very academic thing to do. And I agree, you have to do peer research and you have to see things, and you have to read other books about the subject and things around. But in this one, I just felt, I could read, 20 books on IT, but that doesn't, get me ready to put on a whole book about IT and working in a company or like in a giant company or in a giant bank. I just don't see the street cred or the history or the experience about capoeira to be talking about it, right? Like, I own a restaurant, but I don't cook there, so I'm not going to get in there and start talking about how it is to cook. I can give opinions from an outside, right? In anthropology or in research, we have something called participant observer. It's where you participate, but you're also analyzing. That's what I've done with capoeira and Afro-Brazilian culture and globalization for the last 30 years. I feel he's trying to point out he's a participant observer, but he's not a participant. I'm not saying that he shouldn't do capoeira. I'm saying he's not a capoeirista. And I'm not talking about complaining about somebody who's been doing it for 20 years and say, oh, you've done it capoeira for 20 years, but you're not a capoeirista. I'm talking about a person who started at 63, who has had very little contact with capoeira before that, and is already saying what it is, what it is, what it is. Remember I made a video, Capoeira is? It's not just old masters of Brazil who do that, okay? So I think we need to be really careful with putting out information with no street cred or no background on who you are and what your relationship to capoeira is. A lot of times during the book, he's making a lot of small mistakes that are just simple mistakes that he could have Googled, right? He could have Googled. For example, as far as I know, you can comment, I know several people who have trained with Mestre Bimba, who have trained under the lineage of Mestre Bimba, and not one of them had ever said that Mestre Bimba gave a cordon. He says it on page 10 of his book. Mestre Bimba gave cordons. As far as I know, Mestre Bimba gave scarves. Okay? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I mean, if you're going to start making simple mistakes like that on something that's so standard knowledge, I think you should really be careful what you're talking about, because obviously he doesn't know so much about the regional side, but he's talking about it, right? If I spent 10 years in Angola, 10 years regional, I could talk about both. But if you've spent 3 months, 6 months, right? He refers to another book that's a lot of people have seen in academic as a source of capoeira, which I completely go against. And I can't remember, it's Lowell's book, Ring of Liberation. I'll review that book too, so don't worry. So we just really be careful about putting stuff out. If you've never done capoeira and you want a journalistic approach to Capoeira Angola and the politics of capoeira from Angola and regional, well, maybe this is a good read. Like I said, I'm going to put the link below, but I don't recommend it. There's a lot of other good books and other things you could spend your money on buying through my links. I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, I've read Mestre Accordion's book about on 5-6 times over the past 30 years, and each time it's an amazing thing. But I'm not gonna say more because I'm gonna review that too. But this book was just really trying to regurgitate what Mestre Accordion was saying, but putting the politicizing Capoeira Angola and regional. Capoeira and Candomblé, Conformity and Resistance through Afro-Brazilian Experience. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to recommend it, but if you want to take a look, the link's below. Let's keep it positive as best as possible, but let's also keep our integrity, right? We have to say when it's good or bad. A lot of peace, a lot of love, and a lot of ashe, Mestre vibes.